We began this session by discussing the basics of stress, as well as the major stressors for childcare professionals. We then went on to talk about the signs and symptoms of stress, and in the last section, we examined several strategies for managing stress on a personal level. Now let's take a look at some of the things that can be done on a workplace level to control stress. I realize that some of you may feel like you have no control over how your workplace is organized and run. However, many of you may have more input than you realize, and some of you may currently be managers or directors, or may one day hold those positions. In any case, it is important to understand the steps that can be taken to reduce stress for the entire workplace. One major way to reduce stress on a daycare level is to improve communications within the workplace, and the perfect way to start this process is with job descriptions. If a worker is unsure of what is expected of them, then they will most likely experience unnecessary anxiety. Consequently, specific job descriptions should be written down and communicated to each employee, for this step will dramatically reduce stress levels caused by job uncertainty. Additionally, successful facilities have a clearly defined set of policies, procedures, and guidelines in place. Questions like, is there a set way teachers are expected to manage children's behavior? And how should conflicts with parents be handled? Should be answered by effectively designed procedures. Of course, having specific policies and procedure in place is only the first step in the process. These then need to be clearly communicated to the staff, for if the workers do not understand the rules and guidelines, they can't possibly follow them. It should be noted, however, that the responsibility of communicating these things does not rest solely on the facility's shoulders. Communication is a two-way street, so if you, as a childcare worker, do not understand what you are expected to do, or how you are expected to do it, then ask. It is your responsibility to talk to your manager or supervisor if you have questions because, as we mentioned in the last section, if you don't let people know what you need, how can they be expected to give it to you? Including basic guidelines for two-way communications within the facility is an important element of any successful set of policies and procedures. Workers are more productive and less stressed if they feel that they have a way to voice their concerns and let their feelings be known. Many states now require a monthly staff meeting for this purpose, but gathering once a month will probably not be enough to be truly effective. It's a good idea for each facility to initiate its own methods for more frequent staff communication. When a problem does arise in your organization that affects everyone, use your established communication time to encourage all employees to suggest solutions. This helps the situation in two ways. First, when employees are involved in the solution process, they will feel valued by and vested in the organization, and second, people who actually face a problem on a daily basis usually come up with the most reasonable, most effective solutions. Plus, they come up with these solutions much faster. Additionally, encouraging effective communication between employees, especially when conflicts arise, helps minimize stress. Disagreements cause tension throughout the entire workplace and thus heighten stress levels. When a disagreement takes place, a manager or director should investigate the situation, bring the parties together as quickly as possible, and find a solution. It will not only benefit the parties involved, but also help create a better working environment for all of the employees. One major stressor for some childcare workers is a lack of appropriate materials to perform their job requirements effectively. As costs escalate and budgets tighten, materials may become scarce. But when a classroom is missing required materials, a childcare professional's job becomes extremely stressful. To help alleviate this stress, directors should talk to their employees about what they need, not want, but need, to perform their jobs properly. Additionally, childcare workers need to talk to their directors if they feel their classrooms are missing essential supplies. After all, if we don't speak up and let people know what we need to do our jobs effectively, how can we expect them to know about it? Another major stressor for most childcare workers is their workloads. In today's childcare environment, unrealistic deadlines have unfortunately become all too prevalent, And when a worker is required to do more work than it is possible to do during their allotted work time, stress builds up. Consequently, it's important for directors and managers to review the amount and type of work each employee is expected to do and make sure those expectations are reasonable and realistic. In addition, it's in everyone's best interest to consult the employees during this review process. After all, more work isn't always better. Work done well should be the preferred goal. To encourage that work is done well, some facilities offer rewards and incentives. This reward system also helps relieve stress, especially in a daycare setting, because employees work towards a short-term specific goal. When working with children, change can be very slow and growth can be difficult to see, so these tangible incentives can provide employees with a way to see their work as valuable and important in a more timely fashion. Uncertainty about how tasks should be done can cause stress for many workers. In order to minimize stress levels caused by this problem, many daycare facilities are now offering in-house training as well as information on other training options. This is a valuable step, for some workers may know that they need further education, but they may not have any idea what to do about it. Another way to help workers become more proficient at their jobs is to watch them at work and give them constructive feedback regarding their performance. Praise those things that are done well and offer constructive advice, or training options, in the areas that need improvement. As each worker becomes more knowledgeable about their job responsibilities, they can perform them more efficiently and effectively, thus reducing stress levels. Workers may also become disillusioned and experience heightened stress levels when they feel stuck in their current positions. To help combat this feeling, it helps if managers or directors develop career ladders or paths to promotion, which can then be followed by the workers. Lay out the training courses needed as well as any expected additional job responsibilities to reach the next level. Most people want to feel like they can improve their position within a company through hard work, and showing them the way will help alleviate stress as well as motivate them to reach the next level. The last topic we need to discuss today is probably the most important one when it comes to childcare: stress brought on by interaction with the children. One of the best ways to deal with stress brought on by a person is to walk away from the situation and cool off. However, most childcare professionals are unable to do this because of state and federal regulations regarding minimum supervision ratios. Consequently, daycare facilities need to make sure that safety mechanisms are in place. Dr. James J. Messina has developed a series of self-help books called the Tools for Coping series. In this series, Dr. Messina proposed what he called the anger workout system: A, N, G, E, R, a 5-step program for managing anger and stress. This successful approach was first adopted by Self-Esteem Seekers Anonymous and finally by groups such as the Wisconsin Children's Trust Fund. Here's how it works. In this case, ANGER is an acronym standing for each step in the 5-step process. Step 1 is A, accept. The first step to most problems is to first accept the problem, to recognize that there is something wrong. This will help you manage the situation more effectively. Step 2 is N, name. When workers feel extremely overstressed, they need to name the emotions that have built up in an attempt to discover why stress and anger levels have reached such a significant level. Step 3 is G, get it out. This is where the facility's guidelines play an important role. It's crucial that the overstressed worker is able to get out, to leave the room and walk away. He or she should then actively express their anger by yelling or punching a pillow. In other words, get it out. However, in order for this to be possible, there needs to be some kind of contingent plan in place to replace the overstressed worker in the classroom. Step 4 is E, energize. Once the overstressed worker has let out the frustration, they can then allow themselves to become calmer and more relaxed. This may involve breathing or stretching or just sitting quietly in a chair. It is crucial that workers who feel angry and stressed be allowed to take their time with this step, because returning prematurely will only draw out the process in the long run. Dr. Messina recommends a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes for this process. Step 5, the final step, is R, resume. Once the worker is feeling calm, he or she can return to the classroom and continue the day. It is important to remember that stress is present in everyone's life, and even more so in the lives of people who work with children. Learning to manage this stress is of vital importance, not only for your quality of life, but also for the safety and well-being of the children in your care.